What's going on, y'all? It's Nick with Bear Family Farms. We've began to integrate the young billies with the sheep. We talked about in the previous video how we are going to try and start running the sheep along with the young billies just to minimize the number of pastures we're occupying slash herds of animals that we're running. So if we were able to do this, we'd be able to cut down to just two instead of two main herds instead of three. We had, you know, the big nanny herd, we had the billies and then the sheep. But if we can integrate the two billies and the sheep, it makes less work for us and makes clearing pastures a little bit more quick and more even. The sheep really like the grass. There's a super good mix of grass in this pasture. Grass, weeds, brush. So we think it's going to be good. There is a few sheep back there. You can see they've kind of stayed integrated. They've only been together the past 3 or 4 days. But the sheep definitely keep to themselves. And there's about 2 or 3 ewes in there that I am going to sell because I could never get them caught into the trailer as easy as I can the rest of them. So when it gets to that point where we can't really catch them, makes more work for us. I don't care, they usually end up leaving. It's not worth the headache when moving pastures. But so far so good. The only thing we're a little worried about is mineral. The sheep and the goats do have 2 different types of mineral. Obviously one has copper, the other one doesn't. Our good friends Jeremy and Rochelle have told us they run the same mineral for the goats with their sheep, so hopefully it doesn't cause any issues. If it does, then we'll deal with it then, but it's just going to be better for us not to have 2 different types of minerals out, and the one that's supposed to eat the sheep, the goats probably eat the sheep mineral and the sheep will eat the goat mineral. So we're just going to leave the goat mineral out there, one less thing to buy. One thing that's been a little sketchy since adding the sheep in is getting the guard dogs, especially the older guard dogs. Like Anne, she's been around for a while. She's been here probably about 2 years. Getting them broke to the sheep, not to mess with the sheep. We've got all the dogs integrated pretty well. They really don't bug the sheep too much. The sheep are a little skittish whenever a new dog gets into the pasture that they're not used to. They're used to, none of these dogs actually, none of these dogs have been with the sheep for a very long time. We got Ann, Ducky, and then we've got Coda. This is their first time being with the sheep. I think Ann's been with the sheep before, but I know these 2 haven't been with the sheep very long. So something to keep an eye out for. But they're integrating well. They're not bugging them. They're not messing with the lamb. We've pulled the ram lambs off, so we only have 1 ewe lamb out there right now. And they're handling it good. We're pretty impressed with them. And we're pretty impressed with the look of all these young billies. He's really trying to get the pecan leaves off this tree. He got them.
That's one pecan tree.
This is one pecan tree. That's another one. There's another one back there. And there's a big one here. He stays pretty healthy because that's where we keep the portable water. She's actually very nice. She's How tall this grass is.
It's been a while.
They've been laying down right here. They like to play king of the hill on this little hill here. This was an old brush pile we burned, and I have yet to level out the dirt that was left back. But the hose and a little cheap float from Tractor Supply. Here's a quick graze line, something that a lot of people won't show you. When they mess up, we definitely messed up in this pasture. We left them in here too long. The days got away from us. We got busy doing other things, you know. It's okay to mess up, life happens. You can see they got it down to the ground pretty good, and you can see where the fence was. But they're out of this pasture. We're not gonna let that happen again. There's actually over here in this pasture over here, and I'll show you guys how good the grass is coming up after the goats have gnawed it down. I wouldn't say they gnawed it down this much. There's probably about 2 or 3 inches left of grass right now. There's like less than an inch on this grass. But when we took them out of that pasture, there was about 3 inches of, you know, still standing forage grass, and now it's given a chance to come back. It's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks since they've been in there, and it's coming back real good, even with, you know, not a lot of rain recently. Just wanted to show you guys, it's not always perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're gonna mess up, learn from your mistakes, and try not to do it again. But if it does happen again, that's okay. Life happens. You get busy doing other things, tending to other animals, or doing whatever you do.